In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about the periodic table of the elements in the chemistry unit and some pieces of information that will help you with figuring out some of the questions that pop up in your assignment. All right, so let's get to it. The periodic table of the elements was developed a very long time ago. I'm not going to go too much into the history. So there's very particular arrangements that they made, or famous dead guy made on this thing. But I want to draw your attention to, first off, the left side of the periodic table. This section is known as the metals. And this section on the right are known as the nonmetals. Now, usually one of your chemistry questions will ask you to look up a couple of elements and get some of the information off of this periodic table. So for example, say one question, you might need to look up something about cobalt, the element cobalt, which is found right here. And another question might ask you to look up some information about the element sulfur, that one over on the right here. It can be a bit of a scavenger hunt to try to find some of these elements. There's a lot of information going on in there. But in your chemistry booklet, I provided a handy reference sheet right here. Looks something like this. That lists all of the elements in alphabetical order, as well as their elemental symbols, and most importantly, their atomic number. This atomic number can help you find or hopefully make it a little bit easier to help you find that element on the periodic table. For example, let's say that I wanted to try to find the element potassium on the periodic table. Potassium has the symbol K and the atomic number 19. I'll flip back over to the periodic table now. And looking for element number 19. All of the atomic numbers are shown in the top left corner of each of these entries there in numerical order and kind of jumping across this gap afterwards there. So for example, lithium, we have atomic number 3, then the next one to it is atomic number 4 with beryllium, and moving over this gap right here to number 5 boron, number 6 carbon, number 7 nitrogen, number 8 oxygen, number 9 fluorine, number 10 neon, and then back over to the left side again with 11 sodium, 12 magnesium, and so on. The element that we were looking for before, potassium, I found number 19 right there, and there's all the information that I am going to need for my question. Let's now take a look at the individual entries in the periodic table. I pulled 4 of the elements out, which you should see right now: silver, iron, chlorine, and arsenic. The silver and iron both come from the metal end of the periodic table, and the chlorine and arsenic elements come from the non-metal section of the periodic table, hence the different color codings on there. The main bits of information that will be helpful for your chemistry assignments will be the symbol and name of the element. So this one, that's what we call the symbol. And then, of course, we've got the name underneath that. And then the third bit of information is also going to be that in the top right of each of these blocks. These are known as the ion charges of the elements. Each of these elements has the potential to have an electrical charge, either positive or negative. Typically, the metals will have positive charges and the non-metals will have negative charges. So as you can see with silver, it has a single positive charge in the top right there, whereas with chlorine over here has a single negative charge. Usually these charges are accompanied by a number. If it just shows a positive or a negative, then that just means that there's only a single positive or negative charge. So with chlorine right here, this just means -1. And then with silver, that positive right there is considered to be +1 charge. Then on the right, bottom right, with arsenic, that's 3 negative charges that arsenic has. And then with metals, there are some of them that might have multiple ionic charges, like with iron here. It has the potential to either have a 3+ charge or a 2+ charge. These metals are known as multivalent metals. And those will come up a bit later in another video when trying to answer some of these questions.